Meanwhile, in Park Place, Swinton. What? Joshua Hummer is dead, and his entire family was massacred. They even burned Hummer Villa down to the ground. Jessica, who had been relaxing a second ago, sobered when she heard her guard's report. The Hummer family was well known for being the top family in Swinton. While it couldn't win against the Harmon family, it was still a force to be reckoned with, especially with Boulderthorn's support. So who could be powerful enough to destroy that family? Do you know who did it? Jessica pushed. The fire burned almost everything. It'll be difficult to trace the source. The guard shook his head. We'll be in trouble if we can't find the culprit. Jessica frowned, pondering. Under normal circumstances, she'd be over the moon to learn that the Hummer family was gone. However, most people now knew that the Hummer family and her daughter had something against each other, so Natasha would naturally become the prime suspect. What Jessica feared the most was that should Boulderthorn start digging into this matter, things would get much more complicated. What's wrong? Just then, Natasha walked into the room wearing silk pajamas. Joshua Hummer is dead, and the entire Hummer family was destroyed while Edwin Hummer is still missing. Jessica summarized everything she knew. I already knew that. Nothing to be surprised of. Natasha stretched lazily. When did you find out? Jessica asked, astonished. Dustin called me last night, Natasha responded calmly. Last night? Jessica froze before understanding dawned. Are you saying that he's the one who did it? Yep. Natasha nodded. Is he crazy? How could he kill Joshua Hummer? Doesn't he know that Joshua's mentor is Clement Lincoln? Isn't he worried that Boulderthorn would retaliate? Jessica snapped. The Hummer family and I are already enemies, so I don't think Dustin did anything wrong. Natasha countered. The truth was she'd already been prepared to fight against them after hearing that the military had arrested Dustin. Still, it was a good thing he returned safely. He did nothing wrong. Jessica frowned. Natasha, do you have any idea what you're saying? Even your father has to be careful around Lincoln. Dustin won't be the only one to die if Lincoln wants revenge. You'll be dragged down too. Boulderthorn was one of the strongest guilds in Balerno. The Harmon family wouldn't be able to stand up against them, much less the guildmaster, who had the power to control over 10,000 men. To put things into perspective, without military aid, no one would be able to stop those martial artists. Boulderthorn may be powerful, but they are not above the law. They won't be able to do as they please. Besides, did you really think that the Hummer family was going to simply let us go if Dustin hadn't killed Joshua? Since nothing can stop us from being enemies, the next best option would be to make the first move. Natasha explained calmly, having thought about it earlier. I don't care. Dustin is in big trouble this time. If you don't want to drag our family into this mess, you better cut all ties with him right now. Jessica warned. That's your plan? Cutting ties with him? Natasha snorted. You shouldn't forget that Dustin offended the Hummer family for me. Are you telling me to turn my back on him right now? Why not? Jessica responded scornfully. Everyone has their value. Once they're no longer of use, they should be discarded. You should always focus on the bigger picture. How could you say something like that? You haven't changed, have you? You're still so disgusting. Natasha sneered before spinning around to leave. You Jessica fumed.